What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Right Side. Today, I want to talk about the grotesque and rotten media establishment. I was initially hesitant to make this video because I thought that my comments would be redundant compared to those that you hear from other right-wing commentators, but I'm throwing my hat in the ring anyway. I feel like any adjective I apply to the modern state of media would be an understatement. The media is disingenuous, dishonest, manipulative, corrupt, bought, controlled, and manufactured. And that's just 7. The media isn't just liberal, it's establishment to a T. It's always ready to bend the knee to Washington and the liberal elite. The coup by the Democrats is just one example. The media and the Democratic establishment held hands and skipped through the wheat fields during Biden's first 3 years. That is, until Democrats threw them off of a cliff with the first debate, leaving the media high and dry with how foolish they looked with their coverage of Joe Biden's mental state leading up to the debate. Then there's a Hunter Biden laptop story. After Hunter led his laptop at a Delaware repair shop, the feds implored Facebook to suppress the story, and the media followed suit. The laptop was fake news and Russian disinformation. Hunter Biden's laptop's impact on the election is massive. According to some polls, it could have flipped the entire election. What came out of the laptop? Nothing too significant. Only emails linking Joe Biden to Ukrainian gas companies, with Hunter referring to his dad as the big guy and his 10% when talking with Burisma's board. Not to mention Joe's past confessions about withholding congressionally allocated foreign aid to Ukraine unless they fire the prosecutor who was going after Hunter Biden, which they promptly did. Wait, wasn't that what Trump was impeached for? Then there was a Charlottesville hoax, when a group of neo-Nazi protest groups encountered a counter-protest group in regard to the issue of Confederate statues. When addressed by the media about the horrific incident involving a rogue protester ramming his car into a group of protesters, taking one life, Trump responded by saying, quote, "You had fine people on both sides, but you had fine people. I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. We had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, and in the other group you had fine people." The media took this and ran with it. They were smearing Trump as an apologizer for white nationalists and neo-Nazis and accusing Trump of showing support for the two groups by saying that there were fine people on both sides. Here's the hard truth. There were good, fine people on both sides in Charlottesville. People wanted to exercise their right to free speech and protest for an issue that they were passionate about. People who wanted to show their support for either taking down or keeping up the Confederate statues. People who just wanted to have their voices heard on a contentious historical issue, but as always, with retarded idiots on both sides of the spectrum, ruined it for everyone else who was following the rules and behaving themselves. Those were the people Trump called fine people. But the media never showed that portion of his answer. Then there was a Russian collusion story. After Trump won in 2016, the FBI launched an investigation into potential ties between Russia and Trump's campaign. The investigation, which was criticized in the Durham report for his handling, found no conclusive evidence of collusion. The origins of the Steele dossier, funded by the DNC and the Clinton campaign, played a role in sparking the investigation, highlighting concerns about bias in the process. And people wonder why Trump doesn't trust his intelligence agencies. Who would? These are only a few instances of the media's dishonesty in representing Trump and other stories damaging to the Democratic establishment. MSNBC, CNN, The Washington Post, The Huffington Post, The Hill, ABC News, The View, etc. are all guilty. Nearly every single mainstream news network was complicit in spreading these stories. The horrible part of this is that the public trusted these journalistic institutions before Trump came into politics. And now that trust is shot. Journalism, while having its biases, used to have an air of objectivity. They used to value uncovering the truth no matter what the result ended up being. Now we have CNN posing itself as the premier down-the-middle news network when they had anchors like Brian Stelter and Don Lemon. The only good thing that has come out of the media exposing themselves as nothing more than establishment operatives is the blossoming of alternative media. Tucker Carlson, Russell Brand, The Daily Wire, Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, Patrick Bet-David, Rumble, Breitbart, Newsmax, News Nation, and others. I'm thankful for the opportunity to try and do the same. The exposure of the media's corruption has exploded the demand for alternative news sources. The media establishment no longer has a stranglehold on the news industry. Now, the populace is hearing unique perspectives from unique individuals who had never been given airtime on mainstream networks. The Democrat media complex is crumbling and slowly coming to an end. How much will the reputation of journalism be tarnished when the dust settles? I don't know. Will the reputation of journalism ever be repaired? I don't know. What I do know, however, is that whatever emerges from the ashes of establishment media will be decentralized, bold, brash, controversial, but also unifying. It only takes a few brave and courageous men to show the rest that something is possible and worth doing before other men begin to follow. The first stone was thrown long ago, and the dominoes are falling in suit. The media establishment will only resort to escalating the rhetoric surrounding alternative media in the near future. It's all they have. They don't have the same viewership or power that they used to, so their old tactics of protecting themselves won't work anymore. If you need any more examples, look at how they're covering Trump. Establishment media is labeling the first guy in modern American history who has a legitimate ability to effect mass decentralization as the next Adolf Hitler and as a threat to democracy. They tend to forget that fascists take away guns from the people, not support private ownership of firearms. Their backs are against the wall, so they are deploying everything in their arsenal. First, they tried to cancel him, which was laughable. Then they tried locking him up, and that backfired. Then came July 13th, a game of inches. Every day, I gain greater confidence in Trump and his second administration. That's why the left and the media are blowing up. They could handle Trump in his first term, a guy new to Washington who could be manipulated and misled, but now, Trump knows infinitely more about Washington and about the establishment and how exactly to blow things up. The left will only get more radical in their preventive measures. Seeing the left-wing media kick and scream has been a guilty pleasure of mine, I must admit. They know their fate, and their adrenaline is pumping. We need to keep holding the media accountable for their outright lies and fake news. Alternative media is the future, and that's great. Decentralizing media is a first step in replacing the cultural narrative and fostering free speech. Outlets not constrained by corporate interests highlight unique perspectives and figures outside of the mainstream. They are presenting a challenge to the Democrat media establishment collusion. Alternative media is going to be the savior of journalism, a trade that has long sought to bring truth to the people through honest and accurate reporting. Unconstrained by Democrat overlords, alternative media will revive the meaning and validity of good journalism. Matt Taibbi with the Twitter Files, Glenn Greenwald with Edward Snowden, and the Daily Wire with Loudoun County. These alternative media are bringing to people news and information that the mainstream media either won't cover or don't get the story because people don't trust them. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Media establishment days are numbered, and they know it. Their lies, manipulation, and collusion with the powers that be have been laid bare for all to see. As their influence wanes, they lash out with desperate attempts to maintain control, but the tide has already turned. The rise of alternative media is not just a trend, it's a revolution. It's a testament to the American spirit, the refusal to be silenced, and the hunger for truth cannot be quenched. The mainstream media's stranglehold on public discourse is slipping, and what comes next will be raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically real. They can label, censor, and try to tear us down, but the truth is out, and there's no putting it back in the box. The dominoes are falling, and the establishment is crumbling under the weight of its own deceit. The future of media belongs to the brave, those who dare to speak out, challenge a narrative, and hold the powerful accountable. The battle is far from over, but the first shots have been fired, and there's no turning back now. This is just the beginning. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd appreciate if you hit the like button. If you'd like to support and help the channel grow, please subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with all my uploads. Finally, whether you agree or disagree, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I always look forward to engaging with you guys in respectful and thoughtful discussions. With that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.